What's good, YouTube guys? Welcome back to my channel. It's been a few weeks since I've uploaded. I've just been going through a readjustment phase, so to say, settling in back in the UK after being in Thailand for 2 months. And obviously I did put some content out on Thailand, but I haven't really explained and done a whole summary of how my whole trip went. So this will be a video where I sort of bring it all together and explain what got me into going into Thailand in the first place, how the trip started midway through it, and how it ended, and the things I've experienced and the things that made the most impact to me while I was out there. So to begin with, what got me initially interested in Thailand is the feedback from other people that have been there and said how fantastic it was. And prior to me going to Thailand, I've only been to Asia once, and that was Indonesia back in 2016. So a long time ago. That version of myself is gone long time ago. You know, I hate the version of myself I was yesterday. So what's there to say about 2016? So initially, it was a big step for me going away for 2 months, taking a break from my life in the UK. And as probably most of you can relate, before any big trip you do experience a bit of uncertainty, a bit of anxiety, etc. But that is the norm when it comes to getting away for a long time. And I wanted to do something for myself, something that is healing, something that is rewarding, something that would make me feel good, and I would feel a full reset. So I looked for a retreat that would do that for me, and the retreat that I found had it all in it, in terms of spirituality, yoga, meditation, daily hikes, something that I enjoyed. Probably one of the things that I enjoyed the most on the retreat is how active it was. So it would start a day with a morning hike ranging from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. start, and those hikes, they're really like breathtaking. I can't really put it into words. I'll put some videos here on the screen for you guys to see how amazing they were, how colorful, how exotic, how tropical. And to start your day on a right note, it just sets the vibe straight. So I fully enjoyed those hikes. We had a waterfall hike. We would hike every Tuesday and swim in the waterfall. That was incredible. And water heals us. So every time I would go into this waterfall, I would tell myself positive affirmations. Just water heal me, take the bad energy away from me. So that was the goal for me going into this retreat, is to just reset and heal up. I also go into yoga quite a bit, and my week one I really struggled with all the yoga exercises, and I was sweating. I was surprised how challenging I found it. But as the weeks progressed, and I only did 3 weeks of the retreat, but let's say towards my last week, I really found some sort of a flow and freedom in my body, just how more flexible I became, how more fluid I was in terms of my muscles, my joints, and even like the energy that stuck up in my body. As some of you know, I practice qigong, and that is internal energy work. But in order for the energy to flow freely, your energetical pathways need to be open. So I found yoga really did that for me, as well as other practices that we did on the program, including Muay Thai. That was interesting because I'm so used to boxing, just fighting with my upper body. So trying out Muay Thai using my elbows, my knees, kicks, that was like such a new phenomenon for me, but it was such a great exercise, and I loved it. And I love it how much Thai people are into this sport. It's like a national sport out there, and it's everywhere. Everyone talks about it. It's retreats for Muay Thai on every corner, and it's a massive thing out there, and I love it. I love a country where a fighting sport is the main go-to sport. In the UK, boxing is big, yes, we know, but probably sports like football, cricket, rugby outdo boxing to some degree. They're just more popular with the general public, but boxing is doing really well also. But another thing that really stood out to me on the retreat is how delicious, healthy, and nutrient the food was, and that contributed to me overeating in my first few weeks on the retreat, because I simply couldn't stop. First of all, it was all plant-based, and as you know guys, I don't eat meat. I eat fish, but I've stopped eating meat about 2.5 years ago. So for me, that was like perfect. I was just so captured and consumed by the food at Wild Tribe, and I'll put some shots in here for you guys to see. It's just incredible, and that's the type of diet I need, like not just 2 months out of my life, but forever. Like that's how I want to eat. And I eat relatively healthy here in the UK, but the quality of food is just not the same. We know the food here in the UK is, is chemicalized. The quality of fruits in Thailand is probably the best quality I've ever experienced in my whole life. The taste of watermelons, papayas, lemons, you name it. It was just, you could just feel the richness in it whenever you take a bite. So diet was a massive part of this trip, and how healthy I felt. When I came back from Thailand, one of the things that my mom told me is that I look 5 years younger. And obviously that's got a lot to do with the diet, but a lot to do with the climate, being out in nature, being exposed to the tropical sun. Sun, as much as it can harm you, it can also heal you as long as you use it in moderation. Swimming in the sea on a regular basis, the seawater heals you. So that was very refreshing, very healing. And I love the beach at Lamai because it's got parts of it where it's just empty, like nobody's there, like barely a few people, and it's very peaceful. So I would go on the beach, bring my little speaker, have my little book sometimes. I would just vibe to it, go for a swim. And this was like the best holiday of my whole life. And you guys know me, I like going on holidays to hot countries, but I've never experienced this level of zen on a holiday as I did in Thailand. And once I finished the retreat, as much as I loved retreat, it was quite regimented. You had a program, you had to be up early pretty much every day, and all of those things are fantastic. But once the retreat was over, I was back on my own schedule, which I did miss. And the idea of me going away is that I take a break from the schedule. So my own schedule is very flexible. It only included mandatory things like working out, doing cardio, going to the gym, doing a calisthenic workout, going for a swim in the sea, and getting a massage, and of course continue to eat healthy. So that was the only thing that I stuck to on a regular basis, and it really did it for me. And I felt the enjoyment, the peacefulness, the zen of it all. And getting massages every other day really did wonders to my body. I had so many knots in my back, in my shoulder, some in my legs, and getting a sport massage. And Thai people, they are so good at these massages. All my days, there was this one place next to the wild tribe in Lama. It's called Riverside. There was one lady there, she was quite a chunky lady, and she would step on me like all the way, like on my back, on my legs, and it was painful. It was really painful. At times I really had to like prepare mentally. If I was to go get a massage there, I'd be like, okay, prepare for it, embrace it, it's good for you, because it would be that painful, but at the same time very healing. So coming back to UK, after getting all those massages, I really felt the difference. Normally if I'm training the front level and I'm doing like a negative, it will really trigger my back. But since Thailand, touch wood, my back's been in a good state, and it's refreshing, because I'm passionate about training, I'm passionate about physical activity. And if you got little injuries here and there, as I did prior to me going to Thailand, it can really set you off track. Like the condition that I got into when I first got to Thailand, I was like not in a good shape. Like my body fat was up here, I was bloated. Mostly I was already bloated prior to me going to Thailand, but in Thailand, apparently one of the things that you experience, because you sweat so much, your body goes into panic mode and it starts to retain all the water. And I believe in the first 4 weeks that was the case with me, because in the first 2 or 3 weeks while I was at the retreat, I was just sweating buckets just by like standing still. I remember my yoga mat was fully drenched in sweat, and I looked at people next to me and I was like, yes, they did sweat, but not to that extent as I did. And I thought, like, what's going on here? Like, am I going through something here, or is this normal? Even like in Muay Thai classes, when we were sparring, you spar barefoot, and I remember I was trying to like throw some kicks, and I would just slip like standing in one spot, just because like I'm so sweaty. I just found the whole experience a little bit bizarre, but healthy, you know. If I'm sweating, open up the pores, letting those toxins out, then that's healthy for me. So I fully took that on, and whilst I adjusted, that was no longer an issue. You know, I wasn't sweating to that extent anymore. I was still sweating, don't get me wrong, you're gonna sweat in Thailand, so make sure you stay on top of your electrolytes and minerals, which I did, by the way. And coconut water was just delicious. I've used it every day, and while I was in Thailand, I also did, what was it, 5-day fast on coconut water and normal water. I also added coffee to my fast because I was on a holiday, so I wanted to give myself a little bit of freedom in that sense. Didn't want to be too rigid, but it was a very healing experience. And Thailand is definitely something that is close to my heart now, and I'm in the process right now of building up myself, working on my business, as well as working on myself physically, spiritually, mentally, don't get me wrong, and financially just comes into it automatically, to making that transition to live in UK for good and moving to Thailand, moving to Koh Samui, because that's where I'm truly happy. That's where I truly see myself and where I want to, you know, spend the rest of my life. I realized the UK, as fun as it is, just energetically, it doesn't match my energy. Like I feel disconnected being here, and London in particular has a very dense energy. Right now it's summertime, and somewhat I'm coping well mentally, but once it hits autumn, winter, we're talking December, January, February, it just goes into this super miserable mode, and it's just not for me. It's for a lot of people that live here, you know. I for sure not self-diagnosed. I have that seasonal affectionate disorder. I definitely do, and it's a thing with me. And don't get me wrong, Thailand has, you know, rainy season and whatnot, but I'd rather have that, you know. And rain in Thailand actually feels nice. It's not like rain in the UK. The rain in here gives me a little bit of miserable vibes. So yeah, don't want to make this video too long. In general, just wanted to talk about my trip. If you haven't been to Thailand, I strongly recommend you check it out, because it's not just the tropical climate, it's the culture. You know, Thai people themselves are very friendly, they're very welcoming, they're very supportive, and they don't hackle you either. Like if you go to like Morocco or Turkey, as much as I love Turkey, don't get me wrong, sometimes walking on the strip can be a challenge. That wasn't the case in Thailand at all. Yes, the massage ladies there will try to get your attention because that's the business, but they won't run after you and whatnot. Nothing to a degree of how people hackle you in Morocco or even Indonesia. I've experienced some hackling to a degree, unnecessary degree. I understand those countries are poor and that's how they make their money, that's how they hustle, but I think there is a balance with things. If someone says no, I'm not interested, that should speak for itself. Don't try to force it onto people. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. If you made it to the end, thank you. Please subscribe to my channel, give me a like, leave me a comment. Let me know if you've been to Thailand, and if you have, you know, what's your feedback on it. I also want to mention that I've been to Bangkok on the way back, and Bangkok was just as good in its own way. Yes, it's a city, but the city life is very different to an island life. We know that, but I found Bangkok very different to London on many levels. Like just energetically, it's different. That alone is a massive bonus for me. The food wise is also very different. You can eat cheap in Thailand and still eat healthy, whereas in the UK, if you eat cheap, that will be a massive challenge to eat healthy. You can, but it will be challenging. I'll put some clips of, you know, me being in these places throughout this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry if this was a little bit all over the place, but that's how it goes sometimes, you know. Once your brain, you know, picks up something, it just rolls with it. But thank you for making it to the end, and I see you in the next one. Take care.